Good morning, good afternoon. Got some friendly faces here today. How is everyone?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where's everyone joining us from today? If you guys want to pop it in the chat, if you want to come off mute, feel free.
Hey, Danielle. Of course, you know I can't resist an opportunity to come off mute. I'm like, oh, everything. I'm so excited to have you here today with us. I'm hosting the Loving Kindness workshop, and I am tuning in from the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Ooh, love it. So happy you're here, Bailey.
Woohoo!
Who else? Ooh, Alden, PA. Very cool. Not too far from Jersey, which is where I'm at today. So welcome, welcome. Still have a few people joining. Jersey. Love it. All right. How did everybody hear about this today? Instagram. Very good, very good.
Social media, yeah, like Instagram and everything.
Awesome. Very good. Well, we're glad you're all here. Facebook and Bailey. She's the expert marketer, that Bailey. All right, if you guys, I don't like looking at blank screens, so if you want to join this community and pop on the cameras, please feel free. I would love to see your beautiful faces. And if you don't feel comfortable with it while we're meditating, you're more than welcome to turn your camera off. Totally get it. But I do like seeing faces, so come on and join us here. All right. Looks like we have a good crew here, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. Good afternoon to all my East Coast friends. I don't think I saw anyone from the West Coast, but if there is anyone that jumps on, good morning to you all. Before we just jump right into it, I want to take a minute to introduce myself. So my name is Danielle Ford. I'm going to be your guide through our loving kindness meditation today. And I've been a coach here at the Mindrise since the fall of 2020. So I actually came to the Mindrise through our life and leadership training course last fall and graduated with my coaching certification last spring. I was welcomed by Bailey and the Mindrise community with open arms and the most open hearts that I have ever encountered in my life. And they have just helped me grow absolutely exponentially over the last 18 months. So I'm so glad you're here today to experience a part of what I've experienced and what I know everyone who's been a part of the Mindrise is experiencing as well. So if this resonates with you today, and you're interested in some journal prompts, some reflection questions, meditations, or just inspirational quotes, I'm going to drop a number in our chat box here for everyone to text reflect to. And you'll become a part of our community. And we would absolutely love it if you joined us. We're here for you. Come on in. We will welcome you with open arms and open hearts, just like I was welcomed. I'd also encourage participation today. So if you have any questions or if there's anything you want to share, feel free to pop it in the chat, or if you want to pop off of mute when we're not actually in the meditation, feel free to join us. We would love to have you join. All right. So before I jump into the content, I'm going to take a minute to tell you how I was introduced to loving kindness and how it's really impacted my life, and then we'll dive right into it. So a little over 2 years ago, I was in a very raw and vulnerable place, and I was questioning what I was doing, where I was going. Every decision I made felt kind of like a mistake, or like I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And I, on a whim or on a gut feeling, I signed up for this talk by a Buddhist monk that was on healing our wounded hearts. And the talk ended up being all about loving kindness. So backtrack a little bit. For the previous few years, I was on the go all the time, working 120 hours or more a week, giving everything I had to everybody else. And I was completely burnt out. And despite giving what I had to everybody else, I realized at the end of the day, I didn't really have that much to give because I wasn't giving anything to me. So self-care was not a priority. Exercise was not a priority. Just taking care of myself was not, it was nowhere on the radar. And this talk that I went to really opened my eyes to not being everything for everyone, and that you can show up for everyone a lot better when you start to show up for yourself and put yourself first. So, easy question to start out the day. Has anybody else here felt burnout? Yeah, Kayla's like, yep. Yes, totally. 100%. Felt like maybe you're at the bottom of your list because that's not where you should be. Like we all need to be at the tippy top. And that's what we're here for today. So after I went to this talk, I really started learning how to build a toolbox, and that started with my loving kindness practice. I learned how to fill my own cup before giving to others, and that was a huge course correction for me in my life, and it actually was one of the catalysts that brought me to the Mindrise about 6 months later. So I am going to jump into what loving kindness is. So what is loving kindness? As we grow up, at least when I grew up, I was taught that we're individuals who have to compete for what we want. We have to be the best. We have to compare ourselves to others and simultaneously just like be everything for everyone and be nice to everyone all the time, even if it means that we're not being nice to ourselves. And I 100% agree with being kind to everyone and treating everyone with loving kindness. But that starts with us. So in a lot of those messages for me, it got very easy to get caught up in my own individualism and forget that I was part of a bigger community, a bigger collective, and a bigger part of this earth. Like we are all human beings and we all have something to offer, and that includes us. So loving kindness, which you may learn or hear as the Buddhist practice of metta, involves honoring our true selves. So that means honoring our heart, honoring our soul, and the light in each of us, as well as the light in everyone else in our world. We are all human beings. We are all infallible and we make mistakes. And the beautiful thing is that we can all come together at the end of the day. And that is a huge part of what loving kindness truly is. So it's also about the practice of being kind to all aspects of yourself, right? We have personalities, we have wants, we have flaws, and we have things that we define as mistakes that maybe is just really our definition. And it really is starting to like show that inner kindness towards every aspect of yourself. Because what we define as a mistake is really just our definition, right? So when we start this practice, focusing on love and acceptance for ourselves, we actually start to open our hearts and we open up our love and acceptance of everyone around us. And it's hard to do at first. Like we're humans, right? We're critical people. We're judgmental. We all get caught up in that. And a lot of us are our own biggest critics, and we beat ourselves up for things that sometimes are completely out of our control. So for what loving kindness helps us do is really just accept where we are and accept where everyone else is. So you end up meeting people where they are and meeting yourself where you are. So for me, as I started implementing this, it made me more accepting, kind, open to new people, and open to new experiences in my life that I most likely wouldn't have had if I wasn't becoming open and becoming more loving and kind towards myself. So does anyone want to be brave and share a moment recently where they were a little harsh on themselves for making a mistake or doing something that they, probably could have done better or think they could have done better?
Hey, so I'll be brave and jump in if anyone else wants to go. But something I was actually talking about on my Insta stories this week was that I'd been working on my next book. And I wrote the first book in 2 days. So my ego is kind of like, well, that's how the second book should go. And it really like came to my attention that it's almost been 2 years that I've been working on the second book. And I was really beating myself up about it, especially because I had a measurement. And I don't know if that resonates for anybody else, but we measure ourselves against other people. We measure ourselves against different versions of ourselves. And I was really, really harsh about it. Like so much so that I was just like, why am I even saying I'm writing a second book if it's not done already, right? If it's not there already. So yeah, that was a one that I've been wrestling with, especially the first part of this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing, Bailey. That is a big one. And we do talk often about comparing to other people, but we kind of forget that a lot of times we are competing against ourselves as well. So walk me through how you kind of brought that into your own heart space and were a little more forgiving with yourself.
Well, that's why I'm here, right? Because most of us, like, right, we have something that strikes us, something that we feel that we haven't been so kind to ourselves, and we need the tools. So the conversation I have been having with myself this week has kind of like, it takes the time it takes, right? And I am a sucker for like a good bumper sticker, right? Give me a mantra, and I can get off the merry-go-round of crazy town in my head, right? We all have that. Like it takes the time it takes. And just reminding myself that how it comes to be is going to be that much better based on me not rushing or pushing or forcing or criticizing myself along the journey.
Yeah,
so that's where we're at right now.
Absolutely. This is where we're at. And guess what? Like if we were supposed to be somewhere else, that's probably where we would be. So
right.
It's kind of just coming to that point in our lives.
Right. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but yeah, that's what I'm navigating. So I felt like I was really looking forward to today because having tools to kind of support, like you have a mantra in your mind, but at least for me, like one curveball and all my good intentions can fall apart. So practice like loving kindness. Yeah, I think that would fortify like the strength of not beating myself up as much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad you're here and we're going to work on that today. So does anybody else want to share?
Well, I was hard on myself because I was usually the 4:30 be in the gym, get a workout in before my day officially started. And of course, with the gym shut down, I was like, no, I'm going to continue to get my 2-hour work in. I'm going to just shut down the computer at 4 and just get out and do it. And then I got comfortable. And I was really being hard on myself. Like January, February, March, I was in the gym and I was like, I don't see any results. Like I'm not feeling different like I used to. What's happening? And I took a really hard pause and I was like, wait, let me forgive myself.
Yeah.
For allowing my body to do what it had to do a whole year, COVID free. It did what it had to do. So let me forgive myself, my mind and my body, and say thank you, rather than punishing myself mentally and saying, why didn't I? It's like, hey, it did what it had to do. So I'm slowly getting back in, drinking a lot more water and doing what I have to do.
And sometimes there's that like 10% change that just gets you moving in the right momentum. But
Literally.
that's awesome. You're on the path and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And also can relate, got a little fluffy in COVID. Like it just happens, especially in the winter.
A little bit more loving, right? More love about ourselves.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
Anyone else? If not, we will dive right into our meditation. All right. It's meditation time, y'all. So one of the most favorite things about this meditation is that it's actually a little customizable. So if you look up loving kindness meditation on the internet, you're going to find 100 different, maybe more than 100 different versions of it. So if there's a phrase that resonates with you a little bit more than what is here, you, as your meditation practice evolves, feel free to let those phrases evolve. And what we're going to do is I'm going to repeat each section of these meditations 3 times before we move on to the next section. And how this meditation comes together is it starts with us, right? So loving kindness begins in our own hearts. We can't influence the world and we can't influence other people in our lives before we influence ourselves. So we're going to start with me. And then we move to we, as in like somebody who's close to your life, even just everyone on this phone call right here. And then, I'm sorry, we move to you. And then lastly, we move to we. And the we is everyone in this world. It's all creatures, it's all beings everywhere that we are giving our loves to. So at this time, I'd invite everyone to get comfy, close your eyes, sit in a relaxing position, and take a few deep breaths. Don't force your breath, just nice and easy, in through the nose, out through the mouth. So imagine yourself feeling an absolute abundance of love. You feel so much love that you actually begin to feel warm in your heart space. And you feel the peace of knowing that in this moment, you are giving yourself and the world a wonderful gift. Knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be in this present moment. And I want you to listen and repeat to yourself, may I be happy. May I be free of suffering. May I be at peace. May I be filled with love. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free of suffering. May I be at peace. May I be filled with love. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free of suffering. May I be at peace. May I be filled with love. May I be well. Now, keeping your eyes closed, bring someone in your life to mind. A loved one, someone in your community, someone you need to forgive, someone who has impacted your life in any way. We're going to use those same 3 loving phrases to give your endless love to that person in your mind. Embrace those strong feelings of love and allow them to envelop you and the other person in your mind's eye. May you be happy. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you be filled with love. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you be filled with love. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you be filled with love. May you be well. Now extend those warm feelings to everyone in your life, everyone in your community, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your acquaintances, groups of people around the world. Bring them into your heart and feel them giving you loving kindness and compassion. Feel into your connection to all beings everywhere. May we be happy. May we be free of suffering. May we be at peace. May we be filled with love. May we be well. May we be happy. May we be free of suffering. May we be at peace. May we be filled with love. May we be well. May we be happy. May we be free of suffering. May we be at peace. May we be filled with love. May we be well. Guys can take another minute or so, take a couple deep breaths, feel into what you're feeling, and when your practice feels complete, open your eyes. All right. How did that feel for everyone? Did anything come up that anyone wants to share? Soul needed. Yeah, all our souls needed, I think, especially in these times. Bailey felt grounded. Good. Lighter. Love it, Allie. All right. Lillian, I love that. First time you felt connected to animals. Love that. Peaceful. Good. Love peaceful. That's what this is all about. We want to be at peace and loved and feeling the goodness. All right. Thank you for sharing. Oh, Brendan. Felt great to share good vibes. Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of negativity and judgment and stuff going on around the world this year. So it's great that you're feeling to kind of push that aside and just feeling love for everyone. All right. Thank you guys for sharing. I'm going to talk about a little bit about loving kindness in practice. So this practice for me became something I did 3 to 5 times a week, and you can do it in 10 minutes. You can do it in 5 minutes. It's also something that, like, if you're feeling a moment where you're triggered by something or someone in your life and you just need to like sit down and take a pause and say, like, how can I love this person or the situation a little bit more? For me, that was a really amazing tool that helped me connect with others a little bit better. And allow your practice to evolve. Like, if you decide you need a diffuser in the room, throw on some essential oils, put some candles in there. If you end up wanting to build a little altar and get more woo-woo and spiritual with it, I'm here for it. And it's your meditation practice. So it will evolve as you evolve. And that is the most beautiful thing about this. So give yourself some grace. Like, we are human beings. We're infallible. We're not infallible. We have moments of weakness. We have moments of anger. We judge people. That is like who our egos are and what we do. And we fall into that pretty easily sometimes. So when you fall into those moments, kind of bring yourself back and say, like, okay, that's where I was in that moment, but like, how can I do better next time? And that's really all it's about, is judging yourself a little bit less, judging everybody else a little bit less. So when we talk about meeting others where they are too, right? We can't change anybody. We can change us. And oftentimes people begin to mirror us when we start to change ourselves. And they end up reflecting how we end up changing ourselves. So when you work on being a more loving person, at least what I've noticed in implementing this practice is I have so much more love around me. My family, my friends, my network has grown substantially, and everyone is so loving. Like, I met Jen, and within the first 2 weeks of knowing her, she's like, I love you. And like, we tell each other we love each other every time we talk. And that has become a very common occurrence in my life. where there's just a lot more love. So it may not happen immediately, but all of a sudden you start to see it, that when you're giving more love, you end up receiving more love. And that is one of the most beautiful things about this practice. Absolutely take time for self-care. Again, as we talked about earlier, we tend to put ourselves at the bottom of the list and forget that like we can't take care of anybody else until we take care of ourselves. So take that walk, take that bath, light those candles and read. Shut the door to the world when you need it and take time to just be with you. Because you can't be with anybody else if you're not with you and grounded and centered in everything that you're doing. So does anyone want to share a moment or a way that they're going to implement this in their lives, or how they're going to do a little bit more self-care this week?
I'm just gonna focus on the tea time, to try not multitasking, because I've kind of blurred the lines of self-care with getting things done at the same time. So I'm like taking a bath, but I'm reading, or I'm having my tea, but I'm responding to emails, and that's not self-care. That's just getting things done while thinking you're doing self-care. So it's really separating that and actually giving me that time versus others.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great revelation and insight to have too, right? And if we don't have that awareness, we can't make that change. So read that, sit in that bath, and you can read that book, but just sit in that bath for 15 minutes and just enjoy that time to just be. Jen, were you going to say something? You came up back on video.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, I just came back on video. But yeah, no, it's really, this is such a great reminder to stop beating myself up, because I definitely do that often, where I just like think I should be doing more. I think I should be getting more done, and it doesn't help anything. It just perpetuates me not getting anything done. So it really is just a great reminder to just be okay with what we're doing and where we are, and not expecting so much. Like Bailey was saying with her book, it's like, why isn't this done yet? It is so good to just allow ourselves to just be where we are and that be okay. And so
yes, absolutely. And I think it's easy for us to get caught up in, especially in today's world with technology and every other responsibility we have of living our lives like it's a checklist, and like that's not what we were born here to do. We're not supposed to just, it's not a to-do list, it's a life, and we have to enjoy that life even though we have things to do.
So important to know that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys for sharing. Kayla?
Well, it's first on your list, and it used to be first on mine, but you reintroducing it to me, just starting my days breathing. I think it's really easy for us to like set an alarm to wake up in the morning an hour before we have to be somewhere, an hour before we have to hop on a call or anything like that. And it's like, I immediately go into my work or serving other people or creation mode, because that's what excites me. But it's really important by the end of the day, I'm like, I wish I meditated today, or I just took a couple deep breaths for myself, because I know I can serve from a better place that way. So thank you for that, like very subliminal reminder of like, start breathing when you wake up in the morning again, because I need that. And I know that it will help me in my role of serving others. So
yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it is amazing to me, as humans, we take our breath for granted. Like we forget that like breathing is what's keeping us alive, and water, but like we forget that we're breathing, and it's not an active thing that we do, but when you make it more active, it actually starts to just calm you down and make your day feel a whole lot better. All right, anyone else? Or we're going to move into the benefits of loving kindness, which I think everyone's already probably starting to figure out. All right. Oh, Brendan. I'll definitely start using this practice to step away and gather more love and positivity and send it out to others. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so the benefits of, oh, did Sade have her hand raised and I missed it? Sade, come back and share.
Yeah, I did. But I was like, all right, it's okay.
What I was gonna say, like building off of what Kayla said, definitely breathing. I feel like when I did my Reiki session, literally, she reminded me like take 10 breaths when you wake up. Like just take 10 breaths and really let that sink in. And I started doing that more often, but like it's been getting so hectic on my end, like working and my own business and everything like that, that I just stopped doing it. And today I was feeling like just great energy when I woke up, like, wow, it's gonna be a great day. I'm gonna be in a masterclass, like it's gonna be good energy there. And I literally went outside and took my dogs out and I looked at the sun and I just I just did like these good breaths and I was like, oh wow, that was like great. And everything's just been good. I took a fresh shower, like everything just feels like, yes, that's what I needed. And I feel like everything since I've took those moments for myself just been falling more into place. Like I've been more on top of having people sign up for the masterclass and just feeling like, wow, like I wanna show positivity more. I want people to really be in this and see how beautiful your light is and all that good stuff.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And
Of course.
I'm so proud of you for waking up and showing up today. And
Yes.
showing up for yourself. That's amazing. All right. So some benefits of loving kindness. Obviously, we start to feel that inner peace. Like we get just that calmness and increase in our positive emotions and positive feelings throughout the day. Makes us walk a little bit more gently on this earth and be a little bit more gentle on ourselves as well. Improves communication skills. I found that it has made my communication skills and my ability to connect with other people so much easier. Exponentially easier. I have a much easier time having those hard conversations with people than I used to, because we are all where we are, right? So when we're meeting ourselves and we're meeting everybody else exactly as we're showing up, then it's a lot easier to have those conversations and be accepting and loving towards everyone. Gives us a chance to slow down and reset, which I think we all felt here this afternoon, which is beautiful. And you start really actually showing a little bit more radiance, and that love starts to actually outwardly show from you, which is also really awesome. So you're going to see a change in how people meet you when you start meeting them and meeting yourself differently as well. So obviously increases your compassion, increases your empathy, and just helps you with that self-care and quiets down that inner critic that's always yelling at you. And gives you a little reprieve from that. So, all right. This great journal question: how can I incorporate loving kindness into my life this week? I know a bunch of us shared, but before I move into the workbook, I just wanted everyone to take a minute to think about that and maybe write it down in your journal to think about later and give yourself. There you go, Bailey. Bailey loves a good bumper sticker and a good journal question. So write it down, think about it, and put it back for later. I'm gonna go stop sharing this and share the workbook that you'll be getting, or that came through your email today. New share. Okay. So Kayla, give me the thumbs up if this is working. Yep, okay. So this workbook came in the email that the Zoom link was in and everything got sent to you this morning.
Danielle, I'm sorry, you're trying to show them the workbook PDF now?
Yep.
Okay, right now I have the open floor
on
my screen. Just before you dive in further.
Okay, let me try
Let's
again.
see. I can stop your share if you want, and you can reshare. There we go.
We'll try again. Now where did my
If we
screen
were
go?
all in person in a room, we wouldn't even have to.
I know. One
This
day
is as close as we're getting to connection right now.
One day soon. I'm convinced. So I keep telling myself that we'll all be in the room together soon. All right, how about
there
now?
we go. Perfect.
Good
to go.
All right, so along with the workshop today, you guys get this workbook that we created. It's a weekly reflection. Gives you just the first page is just a checklist, so you can kind of keep yourself accountable weekly. Make sure you're keeping up with being kind to yourself. And if you want to even expand this to being kind to others, showing loving kindness to others, that's great. List them out, color the heart in or check it, or just like, give yourself an A+ for actually completing it. The second page of the workbook, why is this? Okay, we'll go with it. This is the second page of the workbook. It's for journal questions just to ask yourself each week. Spend a couple minutes on each and write down what comes up for you. And then we also included the actual loving kindness practice that we did here today. So I have the instructions in here, and then the last page is the meditation itself. So you guys have this at your fingertips whenever you want to use it. And then there are, as I mentioned earlier, there are hundreds of loving kindness meditations on the internet. So if you prefer to listen to audio or watch a video, you can literally find hundreds of them. Does anybody have any questions or comments before I close us out here? All right.
I just want to say this was great. It was great to take a pause out of the crazy workday and take some time for myself and learn something that's going to help me be a more positive person going forward.
Awesome. I love that, Brendan. Beautiful.
I've got one. Danielle, I actually have a question. So I know sometimes we get like all the tools and we're like, all right, I'm going to go do all these things. What would you say would be, because then it becomes like an overwhelming other thing on our to-do list. What would be your suggestion of like your favorite way to just slowly implement these things when we already have the full schedules and all the excuses to think of? What would you say?
I said, don't do it all at once. Like especially with the workbook, if there's part of it that resonates with you more than the other, just pick that part of it and, focus on that. And you can build it up over time. Like if you say, I only have 5 minutes today to sit down and meditate, okay, that's okay, because that's where you are today. And you have that 5 minutes, and thank yourself for giving yourself at least 5 minutes in that day. And then when you start feeling it, you start building up over time, so it's not as overwhelming. And I think, at least for me, when I start getting in the groove and the habit of doing it, and I start noticing all of the like changes in myself and in my world that are happening, it becomes like, I am so excited to do this, and it's my favorite part of my day. It's not just like a to-do. It's like, I have to do this because I love it so much. So does that help?
Yes, thank you for sharing. I know there's a lot of people and we're all busy, and like people are saying like this is the middle of my workday, like a nice reset. So it's like, how can people who are busy that are having this reset right now make this a normal thing? They don't have to always come to the masterclass and catch it. You know what I mean? Do that thing where they can start to implement this for themselves. So
I also think it can help. For me, it helps to put it in my calendar. And like, when I started, it was like, I had 100 excuses to not sit down and take time for myself. And I literally started putting it in my calendar. It was like, okay, I have to abide by this because it's in my calendar.
Yes. Yep. And you got lovely people in the chat with tons of things for you too.
Oh,
all on the same exact page.
Lovely. Couldn't even see the chat. Reset. Yep. Kinder to yourself. Amazing. Love yourself where you are. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, so much love for you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. This has been such a beautiful practice and a beautiful moment for me, and an amazing day and reset in my full day today. So thank you for being here. Join our community. This is our number here. Text reflect to 732-487-3404. It's in the chat if you scroll all the way up to the top. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We have a private Facebook group, the Mindrise Collective, where a bunch of us share, inspirational quotes, stories, TED Talks, just so much amazing goodness that helps throughout our day. And meditations, journals, all sorts of great stuff. So thank you again for joining us. I think in the email, there's also a link to do a getting acquainted call with us. So if you're feeling like you want to jump into coaching, let's get on the calendar and have some fun. All right. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a wonderful day and share this loving kindness with yourself every day and with everyone else.
Yay, Danielle, you rocked it. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. You did such a great job. And yeah, we'd love to hear from everybody. Definitely text the word reflect over to us because we send out weekly journal questions. So just like Danielle did today, where it's like, and she was right, I grabbed my journal immediately. We need to take that time to answer those questions and like ask ourselves those questions and help us to grow. And then always there is an absolute party happening on Instagram all the time. So you can see more Danielle in action on our Instagram and then also in our Facebook group, the Mindrise Collective. So Danielle, like hats off to you, round of applause for you. You rocked it. And thank you for giving us that reset today.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, he's killing it.
Hi.
Hi,
Bye.
Brandon.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks for doing that.
Aw. Thanks, Brandon.
Awesome. Woohoo.
Are you planning on doing it more often?
Definitely. We have monthly master classes mapped out, and then you can always check out the podcast if you haven't already. I've got the amazing Danielle over at the podcast. So
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, this was great. It really was.
They're on Apple, Spotify, Google, and YouTube.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And again, I'll be looking forward to the emails and texts and everything to keep going with this. So really was great.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
Brandon.
you too. Bye.
Oh my gosh.
so good. I don't know where she is.